and welcome to another episode of the Kids Stories Podcast. I'm Phil Bechtel. Today's episode is sponsored by The Adventure Challenge. The Adventure Challenge is a mystery scratch-off book with 50 creative and unique adventures. Each adventure is covered by scratcher material, making every challenge a surprise. As you finish each challenge, the book then becomes a memory keepsake, with a spot to write about your adventure and a place to stick a photo. The Adventure Challenge gets the family together, having fun, and keeps that memory for you within its pages. So check out theadventurechallenge.com and use the promo code KIDSTORIES for a great discount. Before we get started today, I want to give a shout out to Maggie from Ojai, California. Maggie had some questions for me that will definitely lead to more episodes in the future. One thing she wanted to know is, where did Stella Sky go at the end of the Lo Mein Mansion series? I thought that was a great question, and I can't wait to answer it with a story sometime soon. Maggie also submitted some drawings, and you can check those out on the website at kidstoriespodcast.com. Thanks so much for the drawings and the questions, Maggie, and thanks for listening. Now, let's jump right in. Today's story is called Mermaids Are Real. It was a slow day at the Valley Town Dojo, and Master Momo realized that his ninjas had not had a day off in months. He knew it was important for them to have fun together. Today was the perfect day for some fun. The sun was out with not a cloud in sight. "All right, ninjas," said Master Momo during the ninjas' morning meeting. "Today you're finally getting a break. I'm sending you all to Beechwood Beach for some fun in the sun." "By fun, do you mean battle?" asked Tim. "And by the sun, do you mean an evil beast who's taken control of an entire town and won't leave until it is given a mountain of whipped cream?" asked Ray. Momo sighed. "Do you think that's what I mean, Ray? Do you believe there's really a beast out there holding entire towns hostage in exchange for whipped cream mountains?" "Well, I didn't before, but now that I'm hearing you talk about it, it all seems so plausible, said Ray. "The question is, do we battle the monster or give in to his demands and just start delivering whipped cream?" "Oh, I know a whipped cream guy," said Tim. "I can get you a wagon load in like 2 days tops." "There's no whipped cream beast, you goofballs," said Momo. "When I said fun, I meant fun, and when I said the sun, I meant the sun. That's it. You ninjas need a break from battles and investigations. Head on up to Beechwood Beach and just kick back." The ninjas were excited, but admittedly a bit out of their element. When you work too hard for too long, you forget how to have fun. So today was a great opportunity for them to have some fun together. They gathered all their things, beach towels, some food, beach games, a radio. They piled everything on their scooters and putted north to the beach. When they arrived, they laid out their blankets and slathered on some sunscreen. Tatiana and Bulis started setting up a volleyball net they brought. Tim and Ray checked to see how warm the water was, and Ben was walking his pet lobster Carswell along the sand. Everyone was really getting settled in, until they saw 2 figures off in the distance walking through the forest that bordered the beach. Tatiana and Bulis noticed them first. They signaled the other ninjas, and they all gathered their weapons from bags filled with snacks and beach umbrellas and flippers. The ninjas took fighting stances and were ready to attack when from out of the forest walked 2 regular surfer dudes carrying their surfboards. "Oh, hey, ninja bros," one of them said. "We're just 2 regular surfer dudes carrying our surfboards. No need for those weapons." The ninjas all relaxed, felt a bit silly. It was clear that this day of fun was much needed, and they reminded themselves that they should have regular beach days from here on out. "Hey, you guys think you could teach me and my brother to surf?" asked Tim. "Right on, water ninja," said a surfer. "We'll have you shredding waves in no time." So Tim and Ray were learning to surf. Ben and Carswell were exploring the beach, and Tatiana and Bulis were playing volleyball, and for a while, the ninjas really did have fun. Eventually, lunchtime rolled around. The ninjas invited the 2 surfer dudes over to eat with them, and they all sat on a large beach towel enjoying the food. Tatiana was sitting next to Ben and Carswell, and she noticed Carswell looking curiously at her toes. "Hey, Ben, said Tatiana. "Yeah, Tatiana," said Ben. "I can see how Carswell is eyeballing my toes. If that lobster of yours bites me, I'm going to throw him in the ocean. Okay?" said Tatiana. "Okay," said Ben. "Gotta be careful about throwing stuff in the ocean here," said one of the surfers. "Don't want to hit a mermaid in the head." "Very funny," said Tim. "Mermaids aren't real." "Sure enough they are," said the surfer. "We practically live on this beach. Seen 'em before, cruising through the water. They're like super fast." "Nah," said Ray. "We're not falling for that." "Dude, seriously," continued the surfer. "Couple of 'em even came to shore just a little bit ago while we were surfing. They're sunbathing on the other side of those big rocks." Down the beach a ways was a collection of huge rocks piled up high, the waves washing up near them. Tim and Ray looked at each other. They figured mermaids were not a real thing, but figured they had to go see just to be sure. The two brothers got up and ran to the huge stones and out of sight. The other ninjas stayed put, thinking the idea of mermaids existing was absurd. Just a second after Tim and Ray went out of sight behind the rocks, the ninjas heard a yell. "Mermaids! Help! Come quick!" For as silly as Tim and Ray were, they could be serious, and they would never pretend to have an emergency. That just wasn't their style. The ninjas all jumped up around the beach towel, flinging sand everywhere, and ran off to Tim and Ray. "Oh my gosh, mermaids!" said Tatiana breathlessly once she reached the stones. Just on the other side of these boulders, washed up on the shore, were two mermaids. From the waist up, they looked just like regular girls, but from the waist down, they had mermaid bodies, super shiny, blue-green, powerful flippers. They had battle wounds, too, like they had been fighting recently. Tatiana and Bulis knelt down next to them. They were obviously injured, or maybe worse. "They're alive," said Tim, who had already checked them out enough to know that. "But barely. We need to get them help right away." "Should we take them to a veterinarian or a regular doctor?" wondered Ray out loud. "I think they're going to need something a little more special," said Bulis. "We need to take them to Old Witch Tubes. Now." Tatiana and Bulis carried the two mermaids to their scooters and left immediately. "Hey, surfer dudes," yelled Tim. "Keep our stuff, okay? We'll be back for it some other day." "Sure thing, ninja dudes," they replied. And the ninjas all sped straight to the rock fields, hoping Tubes had some kind of magic that could help these lost and injured mermaids. The end. Thanks for listening, friends. There are many more stories at patreon.com/KidStoriesPodcast. The website is kidstoriespodcast.com. Send any drawings, ideas, or questions to kidstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Adios.